Hi, my name's Rob from roblandphoto.com, and today we're going to be looking at the Fujica ST605 35mm film SLR. I can't quite remember when I picked this one up from the car boot sale. I think it might have even been last year. It's taken me that long to get around to shooting with it. But it's a great little camera. Similar in vein to cameras like the K1000, the Pentax, or maybe even the SRT 101, the Canon A1, the Olympus OMN1, in the fact that it's a fully manual camera, and it's a clockwork camera, so it doesn't need a battery to operate. It just has a little battery in the back that works the light meter. But even if you haven't got a battery for the light meter, or the light meter breaks, you can still use it. You could use an external light meter, or you could use the Sunny 16mm, just a guess. Now, as I said, I picked this up from the car boot sale, and probably in Bridgemere, I think. And I think what attracted it to me is the fact that it's nice and solid. It's got that classic kind of aluminium top, plastic main body, aluminium bottom. The lens on it is a Fuji 55mm, so quite unusual there, f2.2. It's not incredibly fast, probably a bit of a budget lens in its time. But it looks solid, it feels good in the hand, and as ever, whenever you're buying sort of second-hand cameras, check that the shutter works, take the lens off and make sure the apertures slide in and out nice and smoothly. Have a look inside. If you can, open up the battery compartment just to check a battery hasn't leaked everywhere. And always remember, a little bit of leakage is fine, and with a mechanical camera such as this, even if it is a little bit gummed up in the battery compartment, it doesn't really matter, because as I say, it's a manual camera, so you can do everything there. And I've had the opportunity to go out and shoot with it the last couple of weeks, put some Ilford FP4, and it's a very nice camera to work with. Now, it's a little bit unusual because of the way that you meter with it. But first, let's just talk about Fujica, Fujifilm, also known as in Japan. These particular models, the ST605, I think they started making it in about 1976. So this model could be, 35 years old. It uses the M42 mount, which means that it's a screw mount for the lenses. So if you've got any like Pentacons or Eastern European cameras that have got these sorts of lenses, M42 screw mount lenses, you can put these on here. I've got a rather nice 28mm 2.8, which I'll probably give a go with it. And it's a solid, basic little camera that's great to learn with. Also, it's nice and tough, nice and cheap. I think I probably paid about a £5 for this one. One of the biggest things actually when I'm buying second-hand cameras from the car boot sale is normally it's got to be less than a tenner. It's got to look nice, and it's got to be nice and solid, nice and clean. So anyway, let's have a look at it. So as I say, it's a 35mm film SLR. So obviously manual focus. You put the apertures in as well. You've got your shutter speed on the top. It goes from bulb mode through to 7/100th of a second. It looks like the flash sync speed is 60th of a second. Then we've got hot shoe on the back, and we've got our X-Sync cables there. There is a delay lever, as you'd imagine, your normal shutter winder, all that sort of business. However, when it comes to metering with this camera uses stop-down metering, and what that means is when you want to take a meter reading, you look through the viewfinder and then you press that button there. Okay, and what that does is that closes up the aperture, and then the meter starts to work. Which takes a little bit of getting used to, because even cameras like the SRT 101 or the K1000, the meters with those basically don't stop down. You just look through the viewfinder, and it doesn't matter what aperture or shutter speed or ISO setting you've got in it, or then the needle will move. So with this one, you kind of look through, you kind of press the button, keep it held. If you're close, the needle will kind of go and then be straight in the middle's fine, maybe overexposed or underexposed, and then you can adjust your shutter speed or aperture accordingly. However, if you're really far out, or maybe it's just this model, it doesn't really give a reading at all. So you've got to be a little bit close. So, for example, when you're outside, if it's a sunny day, you'd be using, you could use a sunny 16 rule, can't you? So you say, right, okay, I'm shooting with 200 speed film, so I should be a 200th of a second or nearest to 200th of a second, and I should be shooting at f16. And if you have that set into your camera, the light meter will be somewhere close. Then if it's a bit cloudy, you can open up to say f8 or 5.6, or make your shutter speed that little bit longer. So it takes a little bit getting used to, but once you're into it, it's no problem at all actually, because the way it holds underneath your finger, you go up, you press it, almost like as you're focusing, take your exposure reading, and then maybe change your aperture, or put your fingers up, change your shutter speed, and you're good to go. With a 55mm lens, a little bit more telephoto, makes your photos look slightly different actually, kind of makes them that little bit more cropped. This one looks like it's got some fungus in, didn't really show up on the photos. I will put some photos at the end of the video so you can kind of see them. They're my home self-developed ones, so the quality isn't brilliant, but it gives you an idea. And there isn't really that much more to say about this camera, to be honest. It's nice and solid. If you see one at a car boot sale or a thrift store or a garage sale, again, it's all about checking things like whether the aperture blades work. So you take the blades off, press the button in at the back, turn the aperture ring. Do they go in nice and smoothly? They do. Happy days. Do we look through it? Is it like all scratch up and full of fungus? If it's got a little bit of fungus or a little bit of scratching, who cares? That's fine. Again, check the battery compartment if you can. Sometimes they can be a bit tight to undo. And then check whether the shutter fires. Go to 700th of a second, fire it, then go to a quarter of a second, fire it. Can you hear a difference? And if you can, it's probably okay. And if they're only asking for a couple of quid for it, if it looks like it works, take it home, give it a go, throw some colour film through it first, and have a crack with black and white. So there we are, the Fujica ST605 35mm film camera. Great little camera, great little addition to your camera collection. My name's Rob from robknownphoto.com, and thanks for watching.